All right. Okay. Do you guys now see my screen? Are you seeing my screen? I just need a yes. Do you see Rockstar, how to become a rockstar home stager? If you guys see that, then we are all good. No, not yet. I want to make sure. Still loading. Oh boy. Okay. That's okay. As long as you guys can see me, right? Okay. Erica says yes. That's the thing is sometimes, all few hundred of you are just saying yes, yes, yes. Great. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's just my little opening screen. And I will talk a little slower as I go through. We've got a lot to go through. Sometimes, people have individual poor connections. I get it because of weather and things like that. But my Wi-Fi is showing strong, so we are all good. What are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about career outlook and the difference between staging and redesign. Yes, some people are having issues. You guys, I think it all works. Everybody else has said it is good. Everybody says I'm good. Thank you guys. If it's not good for you, it could be your connection. So never fear. And don't do any voice recordings in the chat if you can help it. That doesn't work. I see the chat room. I don't want to have to silence it. Okay. So we're going to talk about the career outlook for our industry. We're going to talk about how to get started in staging and design, some logistics. We're going to talk about how to know the costs of getting started, overcoming fear, how to stay motivated, what is staging, what is design, what are the tools you can use, discovering your sweet spot, because this is an industry that certain people do a lot of different things in. And so I'm going to share a lot of stories in different areas that people actually expand their design love and design business. I'm going to talk about how much money you can make, and I'm also going to go over kind of price models and pricing, and how to take a phone order and create structure for your success, and the number one thing for success in this industry. So we have a lot of stuff to go over, and if I go over and give you all that great information, is it okay if at the end I give you a little bit of sales spiel and a special bonus? We're also going to do a Q&A. That's okay. In the chat room, go ahead and put yes. Just going to get used to you using those fingers and chatting. I find that when you do that, it goes fast. And I usually keep this to an hour. I talk fast, and I will give you the replay, but you can see in the chat room, the live is where it's at. And in all honesty, you know how if you're anything like me, you get the replay and you never get to it. So this is your hour of time with your glass of wine or whatever you have of just learning. So that's why I always ask people, just turn your phone off and just enjoy the camaraderie of everybody on this line having fun together and learning all about staging and design and really what's new in the industry. Who is this for? It's for new home stagers. It's for people thinking about the industry. It's for real estate agents looking into staging or wanting to kind of know more about staging about their own listings. It's for my veteran home stagers, design enthusiasts, and color lovers. Basically, if you like to see rooms that go from this, I got to go slow, to this, then you are in the right place. I always know. So if that's you, do you love to see home transformations? If you love design, go ahead and put that's me, or just put me in the chat room, because I always like to know that. That's usually, we're this rare breed of people who love this sort of stuff. And so it's kind of fun to talk about that. If you don't know who I am, I do these workshops usually about every month. I do a different workshop. So I did this one probably about 8 months ago. And my name's Audra Slinky. I'm president of the Home Staging Resource. And most important things about me, I already kind of told you. I like emojis. I like my wine. And the most thing I love is I'm most proud to have trained the most award-winning and successful home stagers and designers in the industry. I have a membership and a group of a lot of people. I love my stagers. I work hard at always trying to evolve the industry, connect the industry with agents and people so they understand the value of staging and design, and to really empower people who love design. It sounds like that's a lot of you guys, into creating a dream business for themselves. It's very, very possible. So that's kind of my thing. I've been doing it for like 20 years. So I'm old. So if you recognize this logo, that is one of my people, HSR certified stager and designer. This logo I started after that. I did a color training and an e-design training. So if you're on the line and you've taken any of my trainings, send me an emoji or send me some love. I always get a little nervous when I do these. It doesn't matter how long I've been doing them. I always do. And I love the encouragement. You guys are, thank you, Cheryl. You're the best. Oh, that helps me so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you. All right. Let's backtrack a few years. This is about the time I started my staging business. These are my babies. And you can just tell they were so rascally. No, they're great boys. Anyway, not much different than you. It'll be really interesting to see where you are in the lifespan of whether you're just looking into the industry, whether you're a new stager, veteran stager. We all remember those first days. And I was very much like you, struggling with my business, trying to figure it out. And there was no game plan, no blueprint for me at the time. So a lot has happened in these last 15 years. And here I am with my boys. I've got one in college, one in high school. So this gives you a little bit of a glimpse of how time flies, right? And how I'm so glad I made the choice to step into this amazing industry, because I pretty much know if you are in the industry right now, go ahead and say amazing industry on the chat room, because it is. And everyone who's jumped into it goes, wow, I'm so glad. Why did I wait? And my lesson here is that time flies, right? Time really flies. So even if you're looking into it or you're new, I want to encourage you in this training. We're going to go through some top tips. Hopefully you had a chance to read my latest post. I mean, I did a post on a stager. I'm going to showcase a little bit here. A story. She made over 6 figures in 6 months, and it's very doable just starting her business. I'm going to walk you through some tips of what I've seen in my 15 years of really what makes people successful, give them longevity, help them love their business and what they do. But let's talk about what staging is. For those of you who don't know, it's really using limited funds, practical creativity, objectivity, market demographic knowledge, real estate knowledge, and extraordinary design expertise to professionally prepare a home to sell so that buyers fall in love. And if that sounds like stagers need to know a lot, you're absolutely right. We are special, and that is a lot, but that's what staging does. Here's an example of staging, a beautiful office space. And it doesn't happen overnight sometimes for people. It's just happens. So let's talk about the industry, because a lot of you were very good about filling out the survey. So I do tailor some of my stuff around that. And a lot of people think, is my industry saturated? Is there not enough business out there for me? So I'm going to go over a little forecasting for you. I always pull very recent articles. And that is that home sellers are feeling more optimistic. This is of February 9th of this year. And in that article, it actually listed some highlights. 52% of consumers say it's a good time to buy a home. 57% say it's a good time to sell a home, which is an increase. 41% believe home prices will go up, meaning they're going to make more equity in their homes. They're not thinking there's a bubble. 75% say they're not concerned about losing their jobs. Which is really interesting to me. So the economic outlook is looking better than what some of us would even think, which I kind of love. And 21% say their household income significantly higher. So this is all good news for us as stagers, because the staging is a little bit tied into the real estate industry. The millennials are likely to keep home buying strong for years and years to come. And 14-year peak. I mean, we all know the housing has been hot, and kind of makes staging, which I kind of love, a little bit of an economy-proof industry. Remember, I've been doing this since 2005. So I went through the staging bubble, and even then homes needed staging for them to even sell. It was such a, still kind of that interesting time. So it's a great kind of business model in terms of that type of design service. I always talk about, the statistics don't really lie. I love these statistics. Just came out from Recess. So if you're a stager, you need to be using these statistics from the Real Estate Staging Association. They just came out. You can look at realestatestagingassociation.com. They just came up with their consumer guide, their consumer report, and these are pretty amazing. So homes that are staged are making money. It is not about the quick sale right now, because homes are selling quickly. It's about making the most money on your most valuable product. We all sell things, day in and day out on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, or your home is the most valuable thing you own. And if I'm going to make 10, 20, 50,000 more because I put a little bit of effort staging, that's worth it to me. And sellers get that, which I kind of like. So your areas, go ahead in the chat room. If your area is hot right now for real estate, go ahead and put yep. My area is hot, because I really pretty much haven't seen an area yet. But what makes staging also really hot? Because some of the stagers say, "Oh my gosh, it's so hot. I'm struggling sometimes talking with it about agents because the home's just selling." Here's the deal. Here's why it's so good to know both staging and design, because people have equity in their homes. This is just some statistics of how much year over year people have made equity in their home. 50,000 in California year over year. So if you owned a home for 4 years, you just made 200,000, probably more. That's amazing. Every state, more. And what does that mean for us? It means remodeling is completely on the rise. And I love this, the real estate, National Association of Realtors is like 2020 was the year, because we all were locked up, that home design took serious center stage. Any home design article, people are devouring trends, what have you. And I love this really recent kind of home trend forecast by Yelp. Look at this little statistic. It said that review mentions and searches for interior designers on Yelp alone increased 372%. Is that crazy? Yeah. So they're looking for not just stagers, but also interior designers. And in kitchen data, people are going through, this data shows that kitchen remodels are up, oops, I went fast, 84%. And of course I have to showcase, let me go back because I didn't do this. This is a before photo. I just listed our best of the best, or our stagings I shared. And this is the before photo, and here is the after photo. Go ahead and ooh and ah. You guys are crazy. Isn't that amazing? Heather Odine. She's one of our winners. So I just did a post on that on my blog if you want to see a whole lot more. But yeah, it's amazing. So that's where it is. So it's on my website, homestagingresource.com. If you love to look at these photos, congrats to the winners this month. That was just one of them. So getting back to how hot things are, not just for staging, also for design. And for those of you who say, oh, people in my area, they have tight budgets or they don't want to spend, guess what? Most of them are willing to go over budget. They're just not going to tell us that, right? So 64% in this study are willing to pay more and go over budget on their remodeling and their home. So let's get to you. Let's talk about the top 10 things that make stagers successful. And that, if I didn't just sell you right there, multiple services for growth. I know a lot of people think I'm going to get into staging because I love, real estate and just staging to sell homes. But the reality is, the reality is you want to be the answer to your client's needs. And when you work with a great client, every stager knows this, you want to keep working with them. And they're moving. They're more likely to, actually work with you on the home they're moving into. So I always say when you're getting trained, this is why my training includes both staging and redesign. Become proficient in both. Know your vendors and your resources and your shopping resources, all of that for both. And consider adding holiday design if you love that sort of thing, Airbnb design, model home design, feng shui, organization, because I know all of you have this kind of art, this gift, and it could fall into one of those categories. I'm going to explain that a little bit more in this training. Or commercial space design. Every one of my members do some sort of different services like this, and they never know where things are going to take their business. In my training, I talk about all of these things for people. But oh, thank you, Kathy. But that's why it's important to know those things. In other words, don't limit yourself, rock star. Don't. I see sometimes stagers do that, and you don't have to. So if you get frustrated, you're hedging your business. It's really about hedging your business. Redesign is home styling or using what people already own and love in order to create a space that's harmonizing, functional, and personalized to the owner's lifestyle. This is my take on redesign. It's the other side of the coin to staging. Who are we designing for? Instead of the buyer, we're designing for the owner. And I have a structure in my training on both. And I just love this because Jennifer Rose just featured this in our Stagers Connect. It's a private Facebook group that I have for my members. But she actually did, followed my process, followed the structure. This is her very first redesign job. And here was the before on this living room. And here's her after. This is her very first redesign job after going through my training. She just shared this in Stagers Connect. It will probably be one of our next best of the best winners. It's pretty awesome. So in the chat room, go ahead and ooh and on that. Wow. Go ahead and say, wow. I love it, right? Trust your instincts. I always say that. Love that rug. Because basically a well-done and well-positioned staging job should turn into move-in redesign. Because the home seller is statistically far more inclined to spend money on the home they're moving into. So if you are a stager and you are not actively following up and upselling and positioning your move-in design process with your clients, you really should be. I know sometimes stagers, I don't know how. I get it. That's why I have a structure for that in my training, because you really do, you just need to offer it up. Let them know. So number 9. So number 10, Smart Stager does a lot of different services. They answer the client's needs. They keep their clients happy, and they don't just do one service. Number 9, they choose themselves. And so I know for a lot of you, that's kind of the struggle, because a lot of you were just looking into the industry. Maybe you've been looking into the industry for years. They kind of struggle with believing, committing, and investing in themselves. They really don't. I know we don't. I have a kid in college I spend thousands on, and we don't think twice about investing in our kids' colleges and things like that. But sometimes it's hard for us to commit, believe, and invest in ourselves, right? I get it. I love this email from Barb. You know, it's a 3-year interview. I interview people when they join me. And the thing I do hear a lot is that we try and avoid regrets. But if she has one regret, she wishes she started earlier. She actually found her city business permit back in 2007. And she had kind of a life-altering event. I get it. That changed. And it made her take a practical job. But she didn't, then she ends up choosing herself later. So how many of you guys, timing maybe is an issue? For those of you who I know were sitting on the fence, kind of still looking into the industry, how many of you in the chat room, if you've been looking into the industry, go ahead in the chat room and tell me how long. For those of you who did put that, because there was a lot of you on that survey that were, whether it's just a week, a couple days, a couple months, or a year. I'm just so curious. Go ahead and put that. 1 year, Janetta, I love it. Joyce, 10 to 15 years. Stacy, 6 months. Aaron, yeah. Shanti, 2 years. Rena, a year. I get it. Anita, 6 months. Lisa, many years. I get it. I did the same thing. And it's usually because of one of these 4 things. Timing is important, right? Starting a business is a little bit of a luxury. Fear, a lot of times. Entrepreneurship is a little scary, or people think it's hard. And finances. So I know those are real things. But I always have to ask people, is fear keeping you from doing, what you love? Because it's not scary, when you kind of jump in and trust yourselves. You guys told me you've been redesigning rooms since you were a kid, that you love design. You've been training yourself for that for years. So I want you to trust in that. So this is my Stagers Connect. It's kind of a closed group that I have. It's a support group in my training. And it's private because that's how we support each other. And it's a real open, encouraging, awesome space. But we always, everybody, all the photos that I'm going to share with you are people that they share things, and they're like Joyce sharing her first redesign, and everybody's saying kudos, great job, right? It just fires us up, keeps us going. But I always like to share Stephanie's post, because she was really fearful to take on this home, this job. And so she just kind of threw in a little encouragement to everybody else. Like, if you're fearful about a style of a home, or you're fearful about starting your business, or you're fearful about making that phone call, just do it. Just do it. That's what she says. Push through the fear. Connect with that inner passion of yours and do it. And I bet you'll surprise yourself. And this is her after photo. And of course, she surprised herself. Here's another before and after. And that's just really, if you walk away from anything, trust your instincts, trust that design that you've been teaching yourself for years. So how do you know this is for you? And this is why I always say you have to have a passion for all things design. If you don't absolutely love design, then don't become a stager and designer. They always say when you're an entrepreneur, choose something that you're passionate about. That's really important. I'm passionate about what I do too. Staging is an art form. There's really no formula. If you redecorated your room as a child, go ahead in the chat room and say yes. You think everybody does that. And I tell you, I have 2 boys and they've never done that. Yeah. We are less than 10% of the population is interested in that. I mean, I'm very generous when I say 10% even did that. Most kids do not. We are just that crazy people that did. Maybe you're the go-to friend for design advice. You can't help but notice furnishings and spaces. When people buy something in their home, you notice it right away, right? Is that you? Yes, I can see it is. You move around. Then you're perfect, because the things you're passionate about, they're really not random. They're called your calling. And when you work and you find your calling, you're kind of in your sweet spot. You really are. So let's talk about that, because a lot of you had said what keeps you back are finances or timing. So what is your financing? Of course, I'm going to say I recommend getting some training. Going with me, not just any training, but training as a startup, so that there's no mystery involved. All the answers are there in my training. You know exactly what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. That's like that redesign job I just showed you. She knew exactly what she was doing in that home. She had a process with that client. Then you're going to need some marketing materials, business cards, brochures. I'm going to show you some examples of some really easy to create in Canva. You're going to want a website and hosting. Now that shouldn't stop you either, because you can do websites, really cheaply. Wix, Squarespace. We have a website product. I never want that to stop anyone, but you can, if you're on the tightest of budgets, I've seen people even use just a Facebook page. Believe it or not. You're going to want your computer, your printer, your cell. Here's the good news. A lot of these things that you already own, they become write-offs to your business. That's a real small business perk, that a lot of my stagers realize. A lot of the stuff that they're buying for their clients, home stuff, is now becomes these write-offs. So it's a really great kind of small business to have. And then design technologies, like if you're creating mood boards, so you'd pay for the subscription on that, like with design files, or other technologies like great shopping sources. But it is like the cheapest, least expensive business you can start, that you can make great money at. That's not like a multi-level marketing. I mean, you're not paying for a storefront. You're not paying for a bunch of inventory. A lot of people think you do. Don't worry. I'm going to talk about that. Look at you guys. It's great that way. So let's talk about getting started. Consider your business type. How many of you on this stage, you're already a stager? What is your business type? Go ahead and put it in the chat room. Are you sole proprietorship, LLC, S Corp? I'm always curious to know. But it's really simple to do. You just register your business with your state. You can literally Google that and get all the answers and a link to do it. It's very inexpensive to do too if you're just doing a sole proprietorship partnership. Yeah. You can then choose your business name. That's actually the really fun part. And then you reserve your domain on GoDaddy. That's a $15 item. But the business name, you pop open champagne or a glass of wine with your besties, your best friends, and you brainstorm business names for your business that speak to you. Create a website, market material, sell stuff. You got to organize your home office or kitchen desk. I have a lot of people that just do that. And then you got to outline your services. I walked you through some of the example services that you could do, your pricing and process for each. If you go, this is why training is helpful, because when you go through training, I give you all of this. And then build your portfolio. A lot of people asked about portfolio, and the easy answer is just do rooms in your own home, you guys. Pick a corner of your room, do a vignette in your kitchen, do a chair. I mean, you got to start somewhere. Do a friend's home, unless you live in a cave, you can do a portfolio room. I mean, that's always where everybody starts. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. My tips for picking a name: be consistent and broad. Don't just say staging because you think you're just going to do staging. Trust me, you will. All my members turn into design too. Like, consider your own name. I always say Audra Slinky Design, Audra Slinky Interiors, right? You could do that. Or Audra Interiors. I see a lot of people do that. And all you need to do then is search Google and Facebook, make sure it's available and clear. You don't want to take anyone else's name. So it's really easy just to do that. And then keep a logo for your business or not, and use Canva. Canva, if you're not familiar with Canva, is like this free source for entrepreneurs to create anything marketing, from all our social media to our logos to our brochures. Here's what it looks like. It's canva.com if you're not familiar. And here's all the amazing things you can create. And there's templates already there for you. Yeah, you guys got to love Canva. I always have to mention it because sometimes people don't. And if you've never heard about Canva, then that alone is worth it for this workshop for you. Yeah. How many of you guys use Canva? Go ahead. So in my training, I already have kind of business cards in Canva, so we can give it. So all people need to do is change the name, swap out the photo, change the color scheme, their brand, and then we give them an example of what they want their to be on their business card, maybe some of their logos, maybe a photo of themselves. That's also really helpful. So we have all these in there, but Canva has the templates there as well for you. So this is just some examples of some good ones. We also have brochures. So you'll want to have like a staging brochure. This is an example of a staging brochure front and back where people are just swapping out. They swap out their photo. They take out my photo, put in their photo. I have the top 10 reasons with statistics. They change the color schemes and swap out their photos. They're done. But Canva has these too, guys, in templates. We have them in our training specific to staging. Canva is probably the cheapest place to print and really good quality. So trust me on that. I know I always have a bottom line when it comes to what I refer people. Yeah. Focus on being productive instead of just busy. I mean, you can bang out the start of your business in literally 30 days. It is amazing because so much of this stuff is already there for you. So I'm counting down. I'm at number 7. The key is you got to stay motivated. How do you stay motivated? Well, you just check those things off. So in my training, I have like this getting started guide. It's like a checklist, check, checking an account, credit card, some of the boring business stuff, but then I also balance it with the fun design stuff. But you have to ask yourself, where do you see yourself? What kind of designer do you envision? Dream a little, and that is absolutely okay. And if you don't think you can do it, trust me, I've seen hundreds do it, as long as they start dreaming and visioning it and believing it. And then also checking those boxes, right? And creating your relatable stories. This is the thing I love about staging. Staging actually lets people like us who love design but don't have any formal education actually start a business doing it. How cool is that? We are like a miracle industry in that regard. So everybody, don't worry, nobody has formal training that usually gets into staging, but we all have a story that brings us there. Some of you mentioned you've been looking into staging for 10 years. Some of you mentioned, 2 years. That's your story. Whatever work story you have that brings you here, that's a story that people can relate to and they love. So you define that vision, you create that story. By the way, that story is your About Us page on your website. And you always tap into what motivates you. That's important. Because the honest truth is when you're working on something that you care about and you're passionate about, you never need to be pushed. The vision pulls you. And a pretty smart guy named Steve Jobs gave me that quote. So you know who he is. And I love that. I always have to share this one by Kat, guys. She says, oh my gosh, I'm in the training. It's like drinking from a fire hose. She's like, I haven't gotten much sleep. I'm on the second paragraph since everything I'm learning gets my gears going and I can't stop thinking and bouncing ideas in my head. I guess it should have come with a disclaimer that the training might cause loss of sleep due to extreme excitement. And that is really true. You get excited. When you're pursuing your own business, you can't help but be excited about it. But as you're doing it, and this is really for my new stagers, you got to find your sweet spot, and I find that stagers usually fall into a couple different avenues, lanes. They fall into either consultation-based business or a vacant business starting out, or they do a little bit of both, just so you know, but just so you know kind of what kind of falls into you. If you have money to invest in inventory, a little bit more money, if you have flexibility in time, vacant staging is a little bit bigger projects. If you don't like the client part as much and you really just like going into a clean slate of a place, then taking rooms like this and turning them into that is maybe more of what you like. So if you're in the chat room and you're like, I like that idea, go ahead and put that's me. Vacant, or just go vacant is for me. Because I do find that people even kind of fall into that. They're like, yes, I just want the little inventory part. Now, the beauty is you don't build this kind of inventory overnight, right? And there's a process for it, and that's okay. But things are getting so much cheaper. I'm going to show you a little tip that I have too, so that it's not that hard. And you're going to get that check up front for that first job so you can go shopping. So if you have the monetary constraints, or really a lot of my people, they have lifestyle constraints. They're retirees or they have kids and they really just want to do the in and out 2 hours in a home. Here's what you need to do. I'm done. They like that kind of time flexibility. They don't want to work, they more part-time. They like to work with people and offer solutions, and they like the challenge and creativity working with people's items. That's consultation based. So if you think that's you, consultation based, here's a before photo, and Cindy Gager, one of my grads, this is the after. Basically, she rearranged. You can see she's kind of rearranging things. This is a consultation-based business model. And a lot of times when you do that, people ask, well, how do I make money doing a consultation-based business model? Well, here you go. And by the way, here's how you kind of conservatively price it. If you have 2 staging consultations a week, and this is a very conservative pricing at $200 each, most stagers even charge more, but I'm just going to say 2 hours, $200, you're going to make $400. And let's say one of those staging consultations turns into a staging day. The seller's overwhelmed. They're like, please, you need to help me. Let's work in my home, put the date on the calendar, and you're rearranging things. That's another $700. Maybe you add a color consultation. One of the homes that you staged, they need you to go into their new home and help them with paint choices and finish choices. There you go. You would be making $1,450 a week or $72,000 a year. This is a zero cost overhead business for 13 client hours a week. Do you see how that works, guys? That's why I love this slide, because it really helps people kind of add up. If you just added another day of move-in design, move-in redesign, hey, let's take all these good things that you have, or a day of shopping, or a day, there's so much that you can do for clients. You would be making over 6 figures for 20 hours. So it is really about knowing kind of what lane you want in. And this is kind of a long email from Barbie, but I love it because she started 3 years ago and she didn't have a whole lot of money or time, and she was just going to do walk and talks. And slowly, here she goes, 2 months. Took her 2 months for an agent to give her a shot. She did the walk and talk. And 3 years ago now, she works with almost 50 agents. She has a 1,200 square foot warehouse in her backyard. She has inventory, and she's just loving it, making great money. But she didn't start that way. She thought she was going to go the consultation route. You don't have to. And you determine your business. I just included 2 different interviews with 2 members in my training under the industry overview. So if any of my members, their business models are totally different, but they're each making great money. And I loved learning from them. So I love to include those interviews in my training. The smart business model expands the services. They capitalize on repeat business. So you're not marketing yourself a year later. That's why start with staging first, because you have agent partners. So the keys to consultation success, you got to broaden your services. You got to upsell your redesign. I've told you that. You start with staging, do redesign or e-design, and color consults. Color, I love. Obviously, color is the second training I created on top of the staging and design, because it really is a gateway service. People are afraid of it, and people are doing a lot of painting right now, you guys, right? Everyone's doing remodeling, and it's not just about painting. It's about finding the right finishes that fit in a space. People make expensive mistakes because not all colors get along. So color offers bang for your buck, and color trends can we all agree color trends have really changed? So I have a limited time discount using coupon code. You might want to take a photo of this. Great 2021, because I want to give you guys a great 2021. I am going to put this up here. Let's see if I can get it. It's a link to my course page if you've never been there. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah. Where you can, if you click on that get discount, you're going to just go to my courses page, and it's a discount on the full price of the color course and also my HSR course, which I'll talk about later. But I always have to start color first. And it's the best price I'm going to give. It's $50 off until Friday. This was an award-winning color training. I saw someone, this is me, color is me. It's 6 modules. It's 3 days. It's an online at your own pace course, and I walk you through from basics to picking color schemes to rules of color to creating a palette for the client. I mean, everything you need to know to how to have consultation success, and also marketing. We mail you kind of a box filled with goodies, the Sherwin-Williams being kind of the key deck. And it really walks you through how to build a color consulting business. But most importantly, I give you this cheat sheet, which is pretty amazing. I still refer to it all the time because, we're not going to memorize thousands of colors. We just need to know what are the top colors in each undertone that's going to fit in the space and get along with your client's spot. The coupon is all caps, great 2021. Oh, good. Thank you, Scott. You're wonderful. So you might want to click on that link. The link, if you click on the link, get discount, it's just going to open up a new window. You're not going to leave me. Don't worry. We're still continuing on. We've still got a few more things to learn here. But I want you, it shows you all my courses and give you the details there. So, talking about it's just fun ways to take your business. I shared this in this month's kind of best of the best. And one of my members, Stephanie Guevara, she was like, I was talking to you got to really be keen on what you want to do. Well, she started the course and then she went on her honeymoon and she came up with the idea of staged luxury picnics. I'm really going to throw a bunch of different ideas for you because you just never know where your business will take you. And she really found that she loved it. It was her niche. So here's what she does. I mean, she was pretty busy during Valentine's or really much any occasion. Who doesn't want a staged picnic like this? Isn't that a good idea? You never know where your business is going to take you. So I always have to throw that. She said business quickly boomed after a couple of months, and her passion is serving the community, giving them these special moments. So how cool is that? And that is kind of about staging, right? She's setting the scene. Staging is merchandising. Design is creating these beautiful environments, giving people those special moments she found out was her lane. And here's another one that she did. How cool. She outlines, I'm going to talk more about this on my blog. Yeah, you do it on the beach, you do it on the picnic, it's pretty cool. And this is the one I just shared. You got to go to my blog after this if you haven't already. This is a new stager. I shared her stories. I show my kind of 12 tips of her success. But basically, she kicked off her business in May of last year, and by December, she was paying herself 6 figures. Now, we don't get into this business. I'm not telling you quick, get rich quick scheme. A lot of hard work goes into this. But she has a great business model. I kind of walk you through it in the post. But she basically creates design plans, for clients like this, using design files when I talked about those design technologies. And there's the room of it. How cool is that? So I outline that. So if you want to get more information on that, that's also on my blog. I love to share success stories of people who take my training as a platform and expand their business into areas they never thought it would go. Both of them a year ago, pre-COVID, were just in your shoes. Neither one of them had even taken my training or signed up. So it's kind of cool. Like they never thought their life would be where it is today. But what number 5 you need to get there is structure. Structure equals success. I always tell people you're going to be so nervous going into that first consultation, but because I give you a very specific structure, you're going to be so focused on that you don't realize, you won't be nervous. It takes the nerves away. It gives you confidence. When you have a specific process you can follow for every service you offer, you'll appear credible, confident, professional, and believable. That's most important. You believe in yourself. People believe in you. The client's never going to ask you how long you've been staging. I love it. You guys are great. Hold on. Hold please. Sorry. I just saw this. Sorry guys. I am texting my son because I hear my dog. Get it out of there. Anyway, so part of structure comes into actually having an order form. It starts even from the first phone call. Like that is important. And asking the right questions up front, that's why I go over these kind of details. These may seem kind of common sense, but they're not. Every detail matters. So you might want to take a photo of this. This is just an example of a pre-appointment sheet. Asking the right questions. I can tell people, if you know the luxury level, the cost of the home, and if it's vacant, you know exactly how to estimate that price. I love the story Morgan shared. This is kind of a long one, but she was a professional dancer pre-COVID, completely shut down all the theaters and performance. She had to find a new career. Her mother loved design and can transform a room, and she always had a dream of working with her mother. So she decided, I'm going to build a business with my mother. She took the training online. She devoured it in a month, created her business, Studio M Staging, and they are busy already, which I kind of love. So this is just, again, in the last 6 months. And she was I have to feature her. She was just a winner in our this month's Best of the Best Awards. Here's a beautiful photo of some of her work. So no doubt she's working on. Some of you asked, and I wanted to tackle some of your questions that you asked in the survey about how do you get vendors for staging needs? Well, a lot of times agents that you work with will already have vendors that they love. So So that's a kind of an easier slam dunk. And a lot of times I always kind of walk you through in my training how to find and look at reviews. So that's an easy, beautiful thing is online now, there's so many resources available to us, from Houzz and Yelp and that sort of thing. I already talked about building, a lot of you asked about how do you build a portfolio? And if nothing else, even if you don't even have rooms that you would showcase in your own home, or maybe you've moved in a new city and you don't know a single soul, trust me, that question has come up with me for portfolio. I tell people, build out a room using design files. We just built out it's an Amazon Prime. So all of these items, this entire room is, if you bought all of these items, it's under $2,000 on Amazon Prime. I'm going to share this board in my training for my members. So if you were on a budget and you're thinking, I can't even do a vacant home, look at that living room. Not that I want you to be shopping Amazon, but I was pretty shocked. But my example to you here would be, you could get rid of obviously the text, but build out of rooms and showcase this on your site as kind of your style or the way you work in that project. So if you've taken my e-design training, this is already in there for you guys. In that project, I also give example chairs that I love. You guys are funny. All right, number 4. A lot of you don't do this. You have to trust yourself. You have been training yourself in the elements of great design since you were a child. You're solid. If you've been looking into this industry and you don't want to jump in because you're worried about that, trust me, I've never had a single person out of the thousands I've trained say, Audra, you were wrong. I just went on a consult and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to tackle that home. Trust the law of attraction. You really have to market yourself a lot. That's true for any business, but you have to trust that the right people are going to connect with you, and the people that are not right will not be your business people. So that's okay. Trust your gut instinct about people. I always say that. Don't be afraid to turn people down if they're not a fit. People know, this is why I do these free workshops. You've got an hour with me. You're going to know if the 3-day color course, you're going to know my style, and my 3-week staging and design course, you're going to know right away whether that's a style for you or not. And that's okay if we're not going to be, BFFs, online, and that's okay. I just get it. You can do this. So before, after, I got to share it. I know I'm moving fast, but we've got more to go with. You have to have a great website. You got to look good online. We're in an image industry. This is where you spend your money. Online. Websites are like iPhones, they date. So if you're a veteran and you have not updated your site in 3 years, I recommend you do it. Take time on your portfolio. Use that story I talked to you about, your About Us page. Make it easy for clients to contact you. I go into stager sites and they don't even put the city that they serve. I'm assuming they're not going to travel 2 states over. Remember, the internet is a big space. So always put your city, states, of areas that you serve. Make sure you have your phone, your email. Don't use a form. Just make it very easy for people to contact you. And use funnels for each one of your services. I kind of talked to people about that. SEO, your location, that's the nice thing. We have a website for people. We don't make any money on that, so I never want that to be a stopping point for people. Here's an example of kind of one, but you can change everything about it. We just do it so it's really easy to get up and running quickly. I never want that to slow anyone down. Swap out your logo, swap out the photos, change the color schemes. We actually give everybody brand boards for their website so they know kind of their hex codes and their brand. You really want to know what your brand is, and then to stick with it. Here's my fonts. Here's my brand. And by the time you're getting really tired of your brand, your client's beginning to remember you. Speaking of brand, you really do want to embrace you as your brand. That's the most important thing. You are your business. And a lot of us are too afraid to do that. I was too afraid to do that. I did not embrace myself as my brand until 10 years later into my business. And ever since then, guess what I got? I got clients that were like me. Your best client is you. So look for you out there. And the best way to do that is to put yourself out there. I shared in my social media calendar workshop that I did 4 weeks ago that do me a favor. If you're a stager, new stager, veteran stager, over this next few months, feature almost every 3rd photo that you post something of you, and you'll be shocked at your growth. The internet is becoming a very personal place. They want to see you. They want to see your story. They want to hear your struggles. They be consistent. Trust in the law of attraction. I trust it and I know it, use social media. That's the beauty. Social is so great now because it's so easy for us to get out there, to friend people that are potential clients, to serve people, to share kind of some love about it, to go to a boutique store that we love and hashtag tag them on Instagram with the photo of, love this place, give them some love. You're sharing kind of that and connecting. Because people always say, what do I post on social? I don't have any clients. Are you kidding me? We love to shop. We are shopping online. We are going places. We're connecting with people all the time. The real estate industry, there's so many things. We can talk trends. We can talk design tips. There's so much that we can share. People do buy from who they know, like, and trust. So putting yourself out there, confidently is key. I love the story about Leah Ward. This is Bruce Willis's house. She knew exactly what lane she wanted to do. She wanted to do luxury staging. She invested in luxury vacant staging, and it was not more than a couple years later, she's doing celebrity homes. And I love that story. She just put herself out there. Great. If you have questions on the courses, don't worry. I'm going to go over that in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about it because I want to handle your questions. Don't worry. So how do you build your confidence? Does any of you in the chat room struggle with confidence? Go ahead. You can put it. Don't be afraid. I do. I told you I get nervous every time. I do one of these. But when I know I have a process, I'm following this presentation, it gives me structure to what I'm talking about and telling you, and that gives me confidence, right? It keeps me moving. So having a process for every service you offer will keep you moving forward. It'll give you confidence and it motivates you. Getting more design knowledge. There's so many great design resources out there for free and real estate resources. I have a few of my favorites that I always share, but you just learn by doing. And then obviously I think people build their confidence from having support, access, resources, and vendors that they can tap into. And that's kind of my job as a trainer that I'm always putting into my training. You can see a couple things. So that's kind of where we're at. The number one thing is helping you never reinvent, giving you that structure that will give you that confidence. That's what my 3-week program does. And anyone who's taken my training usually will say, oh my goodness, I can't believe you did it, Audra. I'm confident now. I went from scared and excited to confident, and I'm already doing homes and loving it. You're still going to get nervous. That's okay. That's okay. You're going to follow my process and build your confidence from day 1 to day 19. You can see I cover it all. My first week is kind of what most maybe trainings maybe cover. I don't even know if they do. It's a lot of materials. I'm going to warn you, people are overwhelmed at first, but I walk you through occupied staging, vacant staging, pricing, bidding. I walk you through marketing step by step, walk you through design, redesign. I give you the vendors that I recommend you shop with and at. I give you vendors now. Here's the thing. There's 2 new vendors that I've connected with that I'm going to be sharing with my members next week that are going to just make their businesses so much easier. Trade vendors are going to love them. I'm so excited. And that's the kind of stuff I love. And that wasn't around 2 months ago, So those are the things that we can share. Model home staging, realtor partnerships. I give you all the forms. So your pricing guides, it's Word, guys. You're downloading, changing the logo, your company name, and there you go. Keeping it very, very simple for you. Why reinvent? You're going to hear that word a lot when you take my training. There's no need for you to reinvent. I give you every form, like I said, PowerPoint presentations, the order sheets for every service you would offer. I even walk you through every service. Here's a staging report. It's a walkthrough guide. So even when you get to the home, I have forms that you can give to the client, and they're going to write the notes that you tell. So it's even going to keep you on track when you're walking through the homes. Never fear. I give you the contracts and the checklists so that you remember everything going into a consultation. I even give you the marketing stuff in Canva. So what makes Canva valuable is I'll give you this staging cheat sheet. It's a flyer in Canva, and you can change all the colors, the fonts, the brands, and you can actually tell your agent partners, hey, I have a flyer for you that you can easily print, and I can brand it to you with my name, and you can go into your listing presentations and look good with, showcasing your partnership with me. How does that sound, right? So you're the answer to agents, their needs, you're the answer to the sellers, and we have all of these sort of marketing things for you in Canva that you use. Thank you, Jeannie. You're right. The training is discounted using that code, GREAT 2021, $50 off. It's normally $999, and it's $949, and it's a limited time, you guys. That discount goes away. And I have bad news. I have not raised my prices on my training in probably 15 years, and those prices are going up. There's so much in my course. I have never had anyone not love my course. We give you complete support. More importantly, we give you the Stagers Connect support with your peers. You can always refer back to it. That's why online training is so important, because if you took like actually can't even do classroom with COVID anymore, but online training lets you refer back to it. And my members tell me they're always going back, always going back. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I always recommend taking the staging and design course first. It's a 3-week course because it starts you off with everything, that whole foundation. The other courses are offshoots, the color and e-design. I'm going to have an e-design workshop in a month. That's not discounted today. The color and the HSR is. This will not be discounted for a long time. So this is your best price, and eventually my prices this year are going up. You also get a hard copy training manual, because I know people learn by touching. That's why you had your notes, watching, learning. All your senses are engaged. You can see I'm very fast at the way I talk, and that's how you learn. You absorb that way, and being able to refer back to it. So I love it. Like Lindsay told me, in preparation before I found this program, I spent hundreds of hours, and the content wasn't even 10% as good as this. If you're a new stranger struggling and you're just trying to do it on your own, I get it. I've been there. I did that. There's no need. I've got it all done for you. All the forms, it's all in Word, like I said, all the resources. I love it. Brandy said, I'm blown away. Oh my gosh. I paid $700 for a staging course prior. I didn't get a fraction. You do get what you pay for, and I trust me. Like I said, we have a 72-hour guarantee. I've never had anyone not love it. Yeah. Oh, good, Sherry. I love that. I love your stories. You guys are good. Oh, it's a 3-week, but you have a year to go through it. You have all the time in the world. I tell people, you saw my dancer, she took a month. Some people take 3 months. Some people take 8 months. Life happens. That's why you want online training. So it's always there. Confidence comes from knowledge, and investing in your learning inevitably leads to more confidence. You can always go back, Monique, and answer. You can go back to the training. That's what I love about it, because day 2, I walk you through consultation process. And then 3 weeks later, when you get your first client, you get to go right back to day 2 and get that shot in the arm of encouragement where I walk you through, because you want to refer back to it. The coupon code is only good for full price, because like I said, this is the only discount I ever do on my course. Prices are definitely going to go up. But don't let that stop you. If you need to do the payment plan, then do it. It's just $50 in that regard, at least. This is what I hear people say a lot. My only regret is I wish I started this earlier. I mean, I just showcased 3 or 4 people's stories that they were in your shoes this time last year, finally pulled the trigger. I know a lot of you are years in the making and not doing it. So give me your passion, 30 days. I'll show you how to create a successful business. This promotion ends Friday at midnight. I always give you a couple days. Again, coupon code GREAT 2021. I'm going to send you an email with the replay, some food for thought. If you sign up today, that training manual is going to go out that much faster. You get to start right away. I mean, you get instant access into the course the moment you sign up, but the training manual is kind of really helps you to guide you. I do have payment plans. So if you guys see that, that get the discount link courses, I sent that little, if you opened up that screen that I told you about, to go to my courses page, homestagingresearch.com, I do have payment plans there for people. I have a 2-month and a 3-month. Oh, good. Erin got her training manual. Good. Great, Stacy. I'm glad you did. No, Wendy, if you took my course, you just renew. So we have a renewal fee if you want another year's access. So you can just send support an email, and they'll send you a link to that. Renewals. It's that easy. No, you don't pay again. People always ask that, but no, never. Once you're a grad, you're always a grad. You never lose your certification. It is the most, I think has the best reputation in the industry. Like I said, The cost of renewal is $250 a year, and you also stay. It also renews your membership to ASHSR, our association, keeps you in Stagers Connect, and it keeps you access to all the new stuff I'm always adding to the training. And so it's like you never left. So it's really kind of worth it for the right person. And you are in our directory getting business. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Love the manual. Great. Oh, I know. The manual is essential. Any other questions on the training or the course? Yes, Katie, we mail you. It's like a 300-page printed manual, but right away when you sign up, if you sign up today, I let you download the first week of the manual because I never want it to slow down your momentum. Remember that motivation, momentum, keep you in the training. The training starts the moment you decide to purchase. You get complete access to all of the training. It's a lot. And you could just have fun. You watch my overview video and wait for your training manual, or just get started and download the first week. The eDesign course is $7.99, Jeannie. People love that course. It's pretty awesome too. Can't wait to get started. Great. Ingrid, Renee, well, welcome then. You're going to love it. It is staging and redesign. I teach you both, staging and redesign, but really a lot of design because I'm giving you access to trade vendors, walking you through where to shop, how to shop, and that sort of thing. So it covers a lot. But we start with staging because that's the easiest service to market. Oh, good, Taylor. I'm glad that you're loving it. How long do you have access, Kitty? You have access for a year. It's self-paced. So a lot of people say, well, I'm not ready to start. Buy now at this discount. I don't know when I'm going to be giving this discount again, if ever. The next time I might be just raised. I don't know. And then start next month. That's fine. You have access for a year. There is a test, Angela, at the end based on the training manual, but I'm not a big stickler for tests. It's just so that we know you've gone through it to get your certification. All right, Thora, if you're ready to sign up, go to that link. I'm gonna resend this. I'm gonna do my call to action to see if you guys still got that. Here we go. You should see that little $50 off the training course. Get your discount. Yes, you know what? Kay asked if you know it's not for you, but you have a family member. You heard that story where I said she's not a designer, her mom was. That's a perfect partnership, by the way. In fact, the podcast that I just added to my training, she mentioned that she went into business with her fiance, and he's not the designer, but they're perfect business partners. Yes, Debbie, this if you're interested in decorating and design, I always say you start with staging. It is really a lot easier to market staging services, and a good staging job turns into design, usually always. Those people are not going to want to let go of you. Lori, this $50 is for this course and the color course. So these are the two promotions, my color and my staging course. Sherry, yes, it is in this industry. We are accredited staging. We were the very first accredited staging training back in 2009 by the Real Estate Staging Association. So yeah, it's the most recognized. Yeah, we have a payment plan. Here's the beauty of our payment plans. You can go to that page, the courses page, and you still start right away. I don't drip the materials. It's all yours. How many hours a day? That's a great question, Anna. I always say it's about 4, because it's a combination of you reading, going through the material, and then doing the activity, getting your domain, picking your business name. Some people, it takes some hours to pick their business name. So I would say about 4 hours a day. For each module, it's about 4 hours. Each module is about, it is at 4 hours, and then you're doing the activities. Oh, Beth, I'm sorry. The color course is normally $749, and you get it discounted at $699. That's the best discount I ever do on the color course. It is a separate price because it's a 3-day training, all about if you want to be a color consultant. I'm so glad, Stacy, I helped you make up your mind. Any other questions? Great. You guys are awesome. I can't believe I finished right on time. If you already have your business set up in the website, no, my training's for veterans. I have so many veterans that take my training, and then it sets them kind of on the right path because there's so much in it, for pricing and strategy and positioning. So absolutely, most people jump in and they've already had a business who take my training. But if you haven't, that I cover in day 1. So you're basically going to skip one day. Yes, Doris, you can take the color training first, but it assumes that you have some sort of business. It doesn't walk you through the creation of a business like my other training does. That's why I recommend the staging and design. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Okay. I love it. Hopefully, I got all your questions. If not, my email is always open to you. Feel free to email me. I love to hear the stories. As you can see, I love to share your stories and share the feedback that I get from these workshops. I hope that you walked away, if nothing else, just a little bit more encouraged and inspired, ready to maybe tackle a room in your own house, if nothing else. And I will be sending you follow-up emails, like I said, reminding you about our Friday midnight deadline, giving you the discount to the course and the replay. And I'm going to try and think of, whatever information that you need. So thank you guys. Great, Marilyn. Marilyn, you're going to love it. She said she's signing up for the course. Have a wonderful night. Cheers to all of you. And I will see you hopefully in the training or in my next workshop. Take care. Oops. Okay. There it goes.